G'day trendsetters, I'm John with Gravel Cyclist and I'm coming to you today with another no bull bike review. Today I present to you the Sage Titanium Barlow. If you're a regular to the gravelcyclist.com website or Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel, you'll already have seen my unboxing and features video of this particular bike. For those who missed it, this bike is kitted out with Campagnolo's Chorus 2x12 speed mechanical drivetrain with hydraulic disc brakes. I'll be reviewing this group set in the future, so be sure to watch this space. For the review period of this bike, I've ridden one wheel set and one tyre combination only, namely the NVG23 carbon gravel wheel set and the Panarese Gravel King SS tyre. Both of those reviews are linked in the description below. Before I begin cracking on with the review, a little background about Sage Titanium. Founder David Rosen has always admired the classic designs of bicycles, mostly from materials like steel, titanium, and aluminium. By the time 2011 rolled around, David had had pretty much a gutful of all the carbon fiber bikes he'd seen on the market. Or in his words, each new carbon bike had flash, but they're all just carbon shells. Veneers with no substance. Actions speak louder than words, and in 2012, David decided to do something about that. He founded Sage Titanium. All of Sage's bikes are made in the United States, and each one can be customized, but personalized customer service is where Sage Titanium excels, delivering a bike you'll love. On to the Barlow, the bike at the heart of this review, named after a crazy road in Oregon's Cascade Mountain Range on the final leg of the Oregon Trail. This bike is slated as an endurance road / gravel race bike, but what exactly does that mean? Rather than labeling this as a gravel bike or an endurance road bike, Sage drew from the geometry of their Skyline road bike, but tweaked everything to produce a bike that can be ridden on any road, whether it be good, bad, or just downright nasty, naturally in style and comfort. The entire frame is constructed from titanium 3/2.5, and this review sample happens to be a size 52 with a 53.5 centimeter top tube and an 11.6 centimeter long head tube. Bike fitting is a personal thing. What works for me may not work for you, but I generally try to get myself onto the smallest frame possible. I prefer a more aggressive fit. Now there are some trade-offs on this bike, namely in the area of tyre clearance. You still get 40 millimeters of tyre clearance, which definitely will be lacking for some. Clearance is definitely tight around the NV all-road carbon tapered fork. With gearing, due to the Barlow's interesting chainstay yoke design, you can run a full-size 5339 roadie type crankset if you prefer. In my case, this Chorus 2x crankset is fitted out with 4832 chainrings, which have been absolutely perfect for my application. This being 2021, the fork features a 12mm through axle, flat mounting for the disc brake caliper, and the fork can also be fitted with an optional fender also made by NV. In keeping with the theme of the frame, the fork is also made in the United States. This frame has Sage's CCS, aka cable clip system, which allows the customer to run mechanical, wireless, or wired electronic drivetrains, but sans a permanent cable stop. The rear hydraulic brake hose is run inside the frame and exits on the left side rear stay. The rear brake is flat mounted, and as expected, there's a through axle 142x12mm. The bottom bracket standard is T47, something a lot of people love, me included. For this model year, Sage has implemented S-bend seat stays and a 27.2mm seat post, which provide a little bit of flex for a happier experience over rough terrain. They also ovalize and shape the frame's main tubes, which Sage feels is a performance advantage. There are fender mounting points, 3 bottle cage mounts, and a favorite of mine, the top tube bento box mount. Super handy for snacks, tools, keys, anything really. Next, a real touch of class, adorning the 44mm head tube, a head tube badge, which I believe is standard equipment on all Sage bikes in the 2021 model year. And if you desire something other than the decal finish on your Sage Titanium bicycle, they offer every custom finish you can imagine: paint, Cerakote, anodization, polishing, or bead blasting. Finally, an all-Eastern cockpit finishes this bike off, including the seat post. That's the features of the Sage Titanium Barlow covered. How does it ride? Weighing about 19.2 pounds or 8.7 kilos with Shimano XTR pedals, King titanium bottle cages and the NVG23 wheel set, the Barlow isn't carbon frame light, but the trade-off is a lifetime frame with mega durability. One or two pedal strokes of the Barlow and you can feel the connection this bike has with its road bike brother, the Skyline. As a result, you're looking at a bike that is very performance-oriented, one designed for spirited riding alone or with friends, or equally at home tearing it up at a gravel bike race. I alluded to this earlier, tyre clearance is tight, particularly around the fork, so be wary of that if mud features on your parkour. There is also a smidge of toe overlap, which I thought may be attributed to the size of the bike I rode. But I spoke with an acquaintance who rides the next bigger Barlow, and he too experienced some toe overlap. This was only an issue during the tightest and slowest of corners, and a trait I had to work to experience. I'm skeptical you'll have issues during regular use. Descending, this bike is fast. I did not mamby-pamby about with the Barlow. I rode it extensively in Loudoun County, Virginia, which challenges riders with countless hills, tight corners, and in many situations, loose gravel. Depending on your skill level, think performance road bike in carbon, but substitute for titanium with bigger tyres, and you have the Barlow. It rails corners, is stable with pleasant manners, and just enough twitch in the front end to be playful. Stability is excellent, something I appreciate as I ride one-handed waving a camera about during my ride experience videos. Climbing in or out of the saddle, your only limitation will be your ability to push gears as the gradient increases. 10 to 20% gradients are no worries for the Barlow, although I prefer staying seated for maximum traction and power transfer. Campagnolo's chorus crankset with 48-32 chainrings and an 11-32 cassette was the near perfect setup for my time in Virginia. More on that in a review coming later. 22%. Bloody hell. A World Tour caliber sprinter may be able to flex the bottom bracket, but the T47 interface did not shift, squeak or budge beneath me. Riding atop the hoods, relaxed on the bars or in the drops, there is no bad position with the Barlow. If COVID had not buggered up group rides, I could easily have taken this bike to a roadie group ride and hung with the bunch. A lot of people bang on about more upright positions on gravel, blah, 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 but whatever works for you. I love the feeling of speed this bike offers if you enjoy hanging out in the drops, or weight shifted forward and low on the hoods, as I do. All of this performance may have you thinking the Barlow rides harshly. Not so. I never use cliche words to describe comfort of bicycles. If you have the tyre pressure set correctly, the Barlow will treat you right. I freely admit that I love the ride and resilient nature of titanium, and the Barlow is no exception. I wouldn't hesitate for a moment to knock out a 100+ mile adventure ride on this bike. The Barlow review bike's positives are only enhanced by its lovely wheel set, the MVG23, and the extremely underrated Campagnolo Chorus 2x12 mechanical drivetrain with hydraulic brakes. I don't plan on giving out too much detail just yet, but this group set is a standout feature of this bike and should be one for you to consider. At the time of this review, the Barlow is priced at about US $3,700 for frame and fork. This premium build is likely to be somewhere between US $8,000 and US $9,000. So who is this bike for? This bike is for the rider who desires a high performance ride in titanium, but in a frame that's going to be sticking around for a very long time. This frame makes sacrifices in terms of its tyre clearance, but not everybody needs room for or wants to run tyres 700C/45 and greater in size. My long time experience riding mixed surface roads has proven to me that 700C/38mm is a really nice tyre size and covers most scenarios you're likely to encounter. The geometry of this bike is aggressive and something I love, but obviously it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But it's also further proof that you can have a fast, aggressive titanium gravel bike that is performance oriented and rides well over most road surfaces. You don't always have to choose a slow handling and sluggish feeling bike. The Sage Titanium Barlow is also USA made, which is an important feature for some buyers. So there you have it, my long-term review of the Sage Titanium Barlow. I realise nowadays there are so many options for your choice in terms of gravel bikes available on the market today. Pardon the pileated woodpecker in the background. So I hope that my review went some way into helping you make an informed purchase decision. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos as they appear on the channel. There are future product reviews, bike reviews, ride experience videos, all sorts of other madness. I'll see you in the next video.